welcome. My name is Ben Kaneaiakala. I'm owner of Phoenix Rising Addiction Center here. Thank you again for continuing to follow and continuing to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are on part 8 of this series, this video series on step 1. So I've covered a lot of different things. We've only gone through a few paragraphs of step 1. So we're going to jump into another paragraph, and I'm going to share with you my experiences in regards to this. There will be some reference to alcoholism and or drug addiction, but I also want to let you know that I'll continue to explore thinking and behaviors, instincts, those God-given 7 instincts, and kind of use those also in reference. I know I've had this discussion with some sponsees and some other people about how we compartmentalize parts of who we are. Like, oh, my problem is alcoholism, or my problem is drug addiction, or I don't have a problem, I just drink a little too much, or whatever it might be. As if all these things that are going on, or all these instincts that we're talking about, or these issues that we're talking about, as if they're all separate from us. That we can compartmentalize each of these things as if they're different from me as a person, as self. And they're not. If I'm having an issue in one area, it's going to have an issue in all the other areas. It's going to impact every other thing. Maybe not as big as that one, but it's all connected. That we're not separate from, that although we might be dealing with alcoholism and or drug addiction as the primary issue, we're not separate from or different from all the other parts of who I am as a person, as a human being, or as a being, however way you want to look at it. So I just want to kind of inform you, let you know to just stay open, to just try and look at what I'm sharing in a broader sense, and not just be so tunnel visioned or focus on one particular thing like alcoholism or drug addiction. Okay, so I just want to kind of put that out there. Okay, so in the last paragraph that we read, it said that we shall find no enduring strength until we first admit complete defeat is the main taproot from which our whole society has sprung and flowered. So this admission of complete defeat, this admission of powerlessness and unmanageability is the taproot. It's the core. It's the core of where everything else takes off from. Because if I don't think that there's an issue or problem, or however way you want to see it, nothing else is going to happen. We can intellectualize it, gain more knowledge about it, read some books, but without that admission or that surrender of powerlessness and unmanageability, as it's saying, it's our main taproot, okay? Where everything else comes from in regards to us making progress or us getting better, yeah? So I'm going to read another paragraph. So this is on page 22. When first challenged to admit defeat, most of us revolted. We had approached the program expecting to be taught self-confidence, that we're just going to control this and just learn some self-confidence, some tools on how to do this. And then we had been told that so far as whatever problem is concerned, self-confidence was no good, whatever. In fact, it was a total liability. That self-confidence, this desire for, I need to figure this out, I need to do this by myself, I just need to read more books, I just need to just stop for now, you know what I mean, learn to moderate, whatever that is a total liability. This thing called self-confidence. Our mentors, sponsors declared that we were the victims of a mental obsession so subtly powerful that no amount of willpower could break it. There was, they said, no such thing as a personal conquest of this compulsion by the unaided will. Relentlessly deepening our dilemma, our mentors and sponsors pointed out our increasing sensitivity to the problem. That we have an allergy, they called it. The tyrant wielded a double-edged sword over us. First, we were smitten by an insane urge that condemned us to go on drinking, using, acting out in obsessive, unmanageable behaviors, and then by an allergy of the body that ensured that we would ultimately destroy ourselves in the process. Although they're talking about alcohol and drugs having the double-edged sword of the obsession of the mind and the allergy of the body, so does a lot of other issues or addictions that we have. That there is an obsession of the mind, and then there is if we've been doing it for a period of time, our bodies and our emotions also get addicted to it. So our thinking, our body, and also our emotions are also addicted. That yes, even though you might stop doing a particular behavior or just like stop drinking and using, it doesn't mean that the body forgets it. It doesn't mean that the thinking forgets it. Yeah. So the double-edged sword can be applied to just about any addiction or any situation that you could be facing. Just stay open to that, okay? Because I know a lot of people are going, yeah, you're talking about alcohol and drugs. Yes, I'm talking about alcohol and drugs, but if we look at some of the other issues, to some degree, this has a connection, and it's true in that. Okay? Few indeed were those who, so assailed, had ever won through single-handed combat. It was a statistical fact that we almost never recovered on our own resources, and this had been true apparently ever since man had started crushing grapes, or as long as we can think of. A lot of our problems or issues that we're facing goes all, we can go back to biblical times if you wanted to. These types of things, or learning how to deal with some of the unmanageabilities of our thinking, of our emotions, and of our body, and of the allergy of the body and all that stuff. It's stuff that man has been dealing with for a very long time. So this isn't a new thing or something that hasn't been talked about. There's thousands of books written on this stuff, okay? But without the admission of complete defeat or powerlessness and unmanageability, and this thinking of I can do it by myself, that we can do this in single-handed combat, that I have enough resources at my fingertips to be able to deal with this, is an illusion. We can't. I can't. And I don't want to. It reminds me in the last paragraph about the main taproot is this admission. And if I'm ever wanting to get away from this whole idea of self-confidence and I can do it by myself, I have to remember that the main taproot from which I can continue growing or getting better in regards to whatever problem is going on isn't in self-confidence, isn't in ego and pride. It's in humility, it's in humbleness, it's in the admission of powerlessness and unmanageability. And we can go and try and test this out and see if you can continue managing and handling your life and go through more pain and suffering if that's what you want to do. That's what that paragraph is telling me. That if I want to continue, I can continue. I'm going to lose, is what it's saying. In some way, some fashion, I am going to lose. And the sooner I can get to this place of surrender, I'll be freer. So I just wanted to touch on the next paragraph as we finish up part 8 of this series. And I look forward to having comments, questions that you might have as I move into another paragraph in this step as we move into part 9. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you guys later.